Over the last few months, me and the team have been heavily modifying this Caterpuller D9G Bulldozer to transform it into an extreme recovery vehicle. Never before has a winch been fitted to a bulldozer of this size, and today, although it's still unfinished, we're going to put it to the test.
What you got there? Clever. Oh, you're clever, boo.
But first, we need to Corby brake and hose to get some parts made.
Turn up in the jag.
Video instruction.
You did a great job. Go on, get both.
Load that one up on me.
Go on, you can manage it.
I'm gonna rip everything off.
We even got a free adjustable spanner. Want me to open the door?
Hold on.
Are they going to fit?
No.
Oh, I've got the Jefferson brochure. Come on, ram it in.
I'm gonna break the back window.
I'll put the heaviest pipe in.
There you go.
Hey, look, we got a Jefferson spanner.
Yay!
Got that for free.
Take that. Is that closed? Is that closed?
Oh, we got a free Jefferson spanner.
Oh, I should bloody hope so. What, that one there?
No, in the front footwell.
In the front.
Go and get her. She's a bit of kit. Stop swearing.
Stop swearing.
I mean, it looks 20-year-old already, but yeah.
It was free.
And it matches your new air compressor.
Ah, that's a point.
That
Can be the air compressor spanner then.
Well into the Jefferson kit.
That's for compressor with when you with everything. You look like you're really struggling there.
Spanner that up, will you?
Get the Jefferson on it.
Thank you.
That's a sharp Jefferson.
It is, isn't it? I want to put that in your pocket. I was going to get my knife out, but
Who needs that? You may as well throw it in the bin. How you getting on, Dave?
Hardly.
Round the exhaust pipe twice. Right, so we have now piped all the pipes up to do the first test run, and we're by no means anywhere near finished with this, just so people don't go, oh, it's not strong enough. We are going to test how strong it is right now though, because we are going to go and pull another bulldozer that just happens to just be over the way. So a little explain what we've done. We've put some heavy duty lines to the D9's original third service, which would have been to the ripper shank, and we've had to make a few adaptations, because with the ripper shank you just have a double acting ram that just basically lifts up or down, but with a winch you need the double acting so it can go forward and back. You also need a spill line, and you also need a pressure feed to the brake. So that's the winch brake, and it needs a pressure feed before the spool valve, which we'll show you over here. So we've had to do some minor modifications. And yes, we've routed that over the cab for now. Everything will get neatened up. This is just trialling it, so before everyone starts screaming saying it's messy. Yes, we are going to put extra braking on here, and everyone keeps going, all these are going to break, the ram's going to break. We're going to break it first and then make it better, or not break it because it's strong anyway. We're going to find out. So we've had to tee into the original hydraulic pump for D9, which is fairly massive, and this is the pressure feed to the spool valve, which we took off to work the brake. And this lever here will be our new winching lever. And yes, before anyone says, we are going to change the spool valve, make it remote so we don't always have to be in it as well. This is purely a test. I'm going to put the guard back on that now, because if there's a pipe go bang, someone's going to get very oily. And you can see in the back, we've just ran the pressure feeds right off the rear outlet with the ripper shank. Anyway, before it's dark, let's do our first recovery with the winch dozer. No, the Caterpuller. So we found this old Terex Zor plough that has not been moved for many years, and the tracks are more than well seized up, I dare say. We're going to see if we can drag it over this way, because anything could drag it in a straight line, but let's just see if we can drag it towards us side on. That'll take a bit more doing. D9 makes that look a little bit small. Okay. This is a new video to everyone. You see the blade has been heavily modified to take the strain. We're going to put extra braces down to that bar to stop the twist. The fact that the winch is going to try and pull down on it. Of course, when we are winching with it, the idea is that we sink the blade in the ground, drive forward so the soil's just up to below the crouch line to act as a bit of an anchor point. And what we're going to do now is try not to destroy the rake field, and we're going to use the blade to prep the ground, which is another useful thing about it still being a bit of a bulldozer, is we can just bulldoze this bramble and ivy out of the way so we can actually get a lashing points on. Another useful thing. We are going to have people absolutely screaming at this because we found a rope off the Titanic that is very rusty, but I'd sooner it break that, not the machine, and not break the winch. So I'm going to stand well out of the way. Adam's going to be ducking behind the dashboard, and if you actually look, we're going to lift the machine up so you can't even be hit by it, in theory. This is only a trial test. I'm going to stand somewhere over there in the rake field and just watch the whole thing take place. Go in there. Seems very fast. Right, I'm going to stand out of the way.
Sadly, the first test was a fail. Wouldn't pull it at all. We then decided to pay the winch out so it had a little bit more power. Less rope on the drum gives more winching power. But again, still no luck. Wouldn't even move it a millimetre. So we slept on it, and the next morning we woke up with a new idea, and that was to run the winch off the excavator, as the excavator runs at a much higher pressure than the D9. The hydraulic system on the excavator runs at over 4,000 psi, whereas the D9's hydraulic system only runs at 2,500. We wanted to see whether this was our issue.
Quite clearly that moved that pretty easily. That's dragged it. Right, so the first test that we did the other day, we were a bit disappointed because the D9 didn't manage to pull it on its own hydraulic, so we thought, we weren't sure because the D9 we know runs at 2,500 psi pump pressure, but handily the pump, that's the motor, shall we say, on this winch, doesn't have any data plates on it, and it was made by commercial hydraulics, which are out of extinct or dissolved or whatever, so we can't find any information about that. So we thought we'd try it on the excavator, which is a slightly higher pressure. To start with, it did exactly how it did with the D9. It was useless, didn't seem to work. Then I dead-ended this ball valve harder on the D9, which gave more pressure to this brake, and then when he went to work it, it dragged it easy. So we think the issue is something to do with our brake, so we may have to take that to bits or rig up a better system for the brake pressure relief, because I think what's happening is it's just got the brake on, not allowing the pump pressure to go to the actual winch, because the moment it got pressure,
If the D9's only got 2,500, and
Yeah.
you think this is probably going to be 4, maybe that brake needs 4 on it as well.
that's the point. So maybe the motor would be okay, but the brake isn't okay. Yeah, that's the point. So what we need to do is investigate those two bits, and handily everything's got no pump pressures or anything on, so we're a little bit in the dark. So if there is anyone out there that knows about hydraulic Boughton winches and the specifications of their working load, it'd be really handy if you could let us know a little bit of information. I mean, it's not the end of the world if we have to put a bigger pump on the D9, a high pressure pump. That isn't an issue. What we don't want to do is spend a load of money putting a pump on it, and we don't need to because we've just got a few things wrong. It could be simply rectified. So it was a bit of a fail, but it wasn't a fail. What we have devised is it's just pulled that, I don't know, 30-ton machine that's been stood there for the past 20 years. It's pulled that
Well, single line.
on the single line with ease, and look, if everyone noticed, it hasn't ripped the blade off. The blade is still very much on. It hasn't broke all them bolts off where everyone told me it'd do. It hasn't bent the rams. It's amazing, that, isn't it? Everyone said it was going to rip that straight off. So, and we haven't even made it strong yet. Like we said, we're gonna make it even stronger. So all round a good test. We were very miserable the other day, and now we're very pleased.
We've let the pressure off that, haven't we, before we standing here?
Yeah. Right, come on, let's get going.
We then were joined by Rhinox Group, who build excavator buckets, and they want us to run them over with a tank to prove how strong they are. So I was more than happy to help.
Successful test. Have we damaged them?
No, I don't think
If we
so.
haven't damaged them, that's impressive, because that had the full 55 ton. What's it like? That takes a little dot to then paint on. You could use them, couldn't you? There's absolutely no reason you couldn't use them. We knocked a little bit of paint off, so I apologise about that.
Not bent.
All we need is a dust storm.
Oh god, yeah.
It's mint, isn't it?
So if you need any buckets for your excavator or attachments for it, go to Rhinox Group. The link is in the description, and I generally can't believe it myself. We didn't damage the buckets in any way. None of them were strengthened for any particular reason for this video. They were just standard buckets. So definitely go check them out.
Hope you've all enjoyed the video on the Caterpillar, and we will do another video on something quite special that we haven't just driven around the yard in very soon. Bit of me, that. Bit of me.